Alright, so now you know about the right hand. Put the chin, drop the hand, make sure that your thumb is headed right in the proper direction, that my elbow is transcribing that semicircle, because that's gonna give you maximum gravity effect. All right? And we've also talked about the left hand, making sure that you've got that nice arch, that you're not wrapped around the bottom of the instrument, because that's actually going to cause you some serious problems long term. You don't want that. You just want to be able to put those fingers lightly on the buttons and use a little bit of the weight of the autoharp to help you put the weight on the buttons so that you don't have to use finger muscles. Those finger muscles are really small and they get tired really easy. And if you cramp that wrist, it's going to get your wrist tired really easy. You don't want to do either one of those things. Okay, so now let's talk about how you actually play this thing. So, being that I'm big on gravity, I like to teach people how to do the boom chuck, all right? So boom chuck is very simple, okay? So a boom is the one stroke, okay? And the chuck is the two stroke. And I generally teach it so that you're doing low and middle, right? And you'll notice when I do this, I'm just dropping my hand. You'll notice that that elbow pretty much stays where it is, right? And I'm actually not using too much shoulder muscle to do this. I'm actually using my back muscles and the bounce of my body to actually lift, right? So you'll notice if you watch this in slow motion, and unfortunately I can't do slow-mo with this thing, but if you watch this in slow motion, probably what you'd see is something like this. I don't know if you'd see me lift my whole elbow like that. But you'll notice that my body was moving. You don't see it so much when you're watching it full speed, right? But I'm doing boom and chuck, just dropping my hand. So there's a little bounce in the middle, right? So it's boom, chuck, boom, chuck. Really simple. That's all there is to it. That's the basic stroke, right? And so that's how it goes, right? So if I were playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, for example, I might play something like this. And if I could just play it and sing it so you can hear what it sounds like. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, right? Really simple, boom chuck, boom chuck. That's it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You don't have to do just a boom chuck, right? Because there's actually more motion in that gravity that you can use that you're not taking advantage of. We're only taking advantage of two little moments in time, but there's actually other moments in time. For example, there's the moments when the hand is recovering, when it's coming back up. And you've actually got two of those. One on the boom, right? So it's boom and chuck, right? So there's two little moments that you're not using, after the boom and after the chuck. So what if you used the one after the chuck? You'd get something like this. Right? So that's boom, chucka, boom, chucka, boom. And all I'm doing is I'm taking my middle finger and I'm allowing it on the recovery. I'm just allowing that middle finger to touch. You can put on picks if it helps you. I don't use any picks at all, and certainly not for this exercise, because you're not really hitting very hard. You just want that fingernail to contact. If your fingernails are soft, you might want to try using a pick on there. So it's boom, chucka, boom, chucka. And you'll notice my body's still driving it. I'm still making that arc, right? That's it, right? So now if I sang Twinkle Twinkle like that, you'd get this. Boom, chucka, boom, chuck, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So that's it. So if I put the chuck on the first boom instead of on the second boom, I can play that too, and it goes something like this, right? So now I get boom a chuck, boom-a-chuck, boom-a-chuck, boom-a-chuck. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So you can see I don't do that pattern very often on Twinkle Twinkle, so I actually broke it a few times, but that's actually okay too. So you can mix them up, right? So in order to emphasize the words as they go along, you might do something like this. So this is boom chukka, booma chukka, boom chukka, booma chukka. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So you get the idea. So you can mix it up quite a bit. And it actually can be used in even more complex ways. So for example, if I wanted to do, kind of a calypso beat, it might sound something like this. Right? So it's the same basic motion. Boom, chukka, booma, chukka, boom, chukka, booma, chukka. And I could do something like this. Down the way where the nights are gay and time flies lightly on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. And I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't come back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I met a little girl in Kingston town. Something along those lines. So you can do all kinds of variations on this. The boom chuck is kind of the basis of it all. And that's why one of the things I tell my students is, don't be in a hurry to pinch. Right? Don't be in a hurry to pinch, because pinch is how a lot of people want to make the melody, right? So the next thing you might do if you were learning how to play the autoharp is you might be ready to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and you do something like this. Well, I can do it slower. But when I do it with the pinch, there's really no real rhythm to it, right? Okay, so now what we want to talk about is how do you get the rhythm of the boom chuck or the booma chukka or whatever else it is that you're doing into the melody? And the answer is you do it by playing with just your thumb. You don't play with anything else, at least not for starters, right? So Twinkle Twinkle might go for something like this. So here's the boom chuck. This is the very simplest way of playing it, right? So what you saw there was my hand was basically moving boom chuck, but I was stopping the thumb, that pick, on the string that I needed, right? So although I didn't necessarily do boom chuck down here, you still saw boom chuck, boom chuck. Right? So it's all the same motion of the hand, boom, chuck. Once you learn to do this in a very relaxed way, you can play everything with your thumb.